How's it going, everybody? I'm Shadowfix, and today I'm going to be bringing you a beginner's advanced guide to Diablo 3. At BlizzCon, Blizzard announced multiple things coming to Diablo 3 in 2017. Obviously, the Darkening of Tristram started this season, and they're obviously going to be bringing the Necromancer later in the year. With this news, I've noticed a lot of incoming traffic to Diablo 3. A lot of new players starting the game for the very first time, and a lot of older players who have quit over a period of time are starting to come back as well. Now, I spend a lot of time on the Diablo subreddit, and I've started to notice a lot of questions coming up that really should be common knowledge by now. And in this series, I'm going to try to address some of these issues and give some answers to some of these newer players. These aren't going to be simple questions like what are set items or how do you get them, what are rifts. All of those can be found on the subreddit and on the Diablo forums pretty much everywhere. What I'm going to try to do is give some of the lesser known information to some of these newer players so they don't feel quite so lost in the dark. Now, the first thing I really want to talk about is clarifying some of the Kanai's cube powers. Most of these are very self-explanatory as to what they do, but some things are not so clear. And I'm going to go through each of these powers and kind of give a little bit of advice to what to do with them and what you can and can't do. When you first open up the cube, you're obviously going to get the Archive of Tal Rasha. It's the one everybody thinks about when you see the cube. Essentially, you gather these materials, you have death breaths, and you can extract legendary powers to the cube. These materials will come from bounty caches that you get after completing each bounty in a said act. So essentially, you have to complete a full set of bounties from each act to have all 5 supplies. All that's pretty self-explanatory, but one thing that the game does not tell you is that there are certain things that you cannot extract, not only per class, and things that you can't extract, period. If we open up the weapon slot, you'll actually see a lot of different weapons that I have obviously not extracted. What you're going to see, though, is that there are universal legendaries, and then there are class-specific legendaries. These class-specific legendaries are things like the Mortal Drama and the Swift Mount. These two legendaries are specific to the Crusader. And the reason being is that their legendary effects, or their orange flavor text, is only applicable for Crusaders. For example, if you have a wizard who has a wand with a legendary ability pertaining to a wizard skill, you're not going to be able to use that in the cube for a different class. Also, you cannot extract a legendary if it does not have a legendary effect. For example, the Gift of Solaria that I'm equipped for my Lawn Bomb build does not have any orange flavor text or legendary text. This means that it does not have a legendary ability and it can't go in the cube. And just for clarification, as you can see between the F and the H, there's G's and you don't have Gift of Solaria. Those are simple things that most people do know, but I just wanted to kind of clarify that as it is part of the game and it's interesting to know. For the Law of Cool, it's very self-explanatory. You can take a legendary and reforge it with different properties. So let's say I take these boots. They have strength, vitality, resistance, and movement speed. If I were to reforge this, it would come out not only with different attributes, it also has the possibility of coming out with as an ancient. Hope of Cain, very self-explanatory. You take the supplies, you add in a level 70 rare item of any kind, and you can upgrade it to a legendary. Now, obviously, you can't control what legendary you get, but you can control what type of legendary you get. For example, if I'm looking for a legendary flail, like the Swift Mount, I can put a rare one-handed flail with these materials and have a chance to get a Swift Mount. Also good to know with the Hope of Cain, it can be ancient, but unfortunately I'm not completely sure of the chance of this. The skill of Nilfer, little less explanatory, but I'll go ahead and give you kind of a rundown on this. You take the materials needed, and then you take a set item, which is a green item, put it in the cube, and it will cycle and give you a different item in that set. As an example, let's take these Roland gloves. As you can see, underneath the Roland Legacy flavor text, it states all of the different types of set items that are in this set. You have strides, feet, you have bearing, torso, grasp, hands, etc. What the skill of Nilfer will do is take those gloves and give you the possibility of retrieving either a feet, torso, shoulders, legs, or head. Now, while it will not give you gloves back to back, there is a chance that you will go to some other set and then go back to gloves. It doesn't cycle through one each time. You have to keep trying until you get the set item you want. Work of Chthon, self-explanatory. Take a rank 25 Gem of Ease, which is the little beetle looking gem. put a equipable item. It doesn't matter what item it is, as long as it has a level requirement. Put those two in the gym, and it will remove the level requirement, putting it down to 1 so that you can use it on any character that you want. Darkness of Adamant, again, very self-explanatory. You take any gem times 9, put it in the cube with the essence of the gem that you want it to be. Now, where you get this gem is actually from Act 2. We're going to go to Act 2. We're going to go to the Hidden Camp, and we're going to go to Squirt the Peddler. Go to her potions, and you will see all this essence. You buy any one of these essences and use it with 9 gems, and it will convert. Let's say I have 9 topaz. I want them to be diamond. So I buy the essence of diamond, take 9 topazes, put them in the cube, and then they will become 9 diamonds. Anger of Ibn Fod, convert crafting material. This is one that I actually always forget about and how to use it. So this is kind of for me as well as you. Essentially, this takes some crafting materials and converts it to another. Very similar to the gem power. What this is you take 1 Death's Breath, you take 1 crafting material that you want more of, and then take 100 non-usable crafting materials and put them in there as well. Then it will give you the materials you want. Now, Caldeson Despair is a very late game ability. Essentially, what this ability does, it takes an ancient item and adds an extra amount of main stat to that item. As you can see, you have amethysts, emeralds, rubies, and topazes. These in turn represent vitality, dexterity, strength, and intelligence. What you do is you take an ancient item that you want to augment, add in 3 of the flawless royal of your type of gem that you want with that main stat. And then add in a legendary gem powered up to at least one of these prerequisites to add that stat. Essentially, to augment any kind of armor like shoulders, head, torso, you have to have at least a rank 50 gem. To augment jewelry, rings, and amulet, you have to have a rank 40 gem. And for a weapon, for main hand and offhand, you have to have a rank 30 gem. Now, the thing to remember, whatever legendary gem you have, multiply that times 5, that's how many of that main stat you're going to get. For example, if I added in my helmet, a rank 50 legendary gem, and 3 rubies, I will get 200 extra strength on that helmet. Now, like I said, it costs a lot to get these royal gems. It takes a lot of time and effort to get these legendary gems up to 50 and above. And obviously, it takes a lot of time to find an ancient. So this is very much an end-game concept. Well, that's it, guys. I hope this really helped some of you. I really just wanted to go over the cube for now because it can be confusing. And there are just a lot of things that I tend to forget, and I know a lot of newer players aren't really going to understand. If I missed something, please put it in the comments. I will acknowledge it next time. I definitely don't know all about the game, but I just wanted to give some of these newer and returning players a little heads up on how to do this. And I'm going to try to compile all these different questions and answers and concerns in an area where you can come back and see over and over again. Well, that's it, guys. I hope you really appreciate this. I hope this really helps. Like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you tell me anything I missed. If you have any questions, I will be happy to answer them. I will be happy to consider putting them in another video. Hope you like it, guys, and happy rifting.